know. I don't know. It said it was started, so we're live. We're live now. We are live now.
Okay.
We're live now.
Right now.
So we were on time, but live was
the system was not.
Yeah. So we good. We still here. Welcome to Big Girl Talk. Again, I am Christine, and this is my
Jamila.
Let me introduce
Sorry,
you.
did it last time. I am Jamila. This is Big Girl Talk. Welcome in TikTok. We are also on Facebook Live under the Big Girl Talk page.
Hello. Once you come in, please let us know you're here by typing BGT or anything. I'm here. Today we are going to be talking about trauma. All sorts of trauma. So we want to be able to have this conversation, try to heal from some things, talk about, bring light to, ain't no shame. Any questions, comments, please make sure that you participate, converse with us, and we'll move it right along.
Right. So let's describe what trauma is, first of all. And this is about as technical as we're going to get today, because what we want to discuss is personal trauma, personal things that we have gone through. Want to share our experiences, want you to share yours. So when we're talking about trauma, we're talking about a deeply, and this is what you can Google about trauma, a deeply distressing or disturbing experience.
Mm-hmm.
That is what trauma is listed as, a deeply distressing or disturbing experience.
Right.
And so when you think about that, you're thinking about a wide spread of things. Trauma can be almost just about anything, from stumping your toe to losing a family member. So trauma is all around us, all over. The three types of trauma, if you want to break it down just a little bit further, the three types of trauma is acute trauma, which is a result of a single incident, such as maybe a car crash or a breakup, right? Chronic trauma is a repeated or prolonged incident, something as much as domestic violence, something that repeats itself. And then complex trauma is experiencing multiple events and having a wide range or long-term effects. Those are things such as such as torture or kidnapping, or witnessing repeated incidents.
Sexual assault.
Right. If you're being held and witnessing all this stuff or having that done to you, those are complex traumas. So I just wanted you to think about those different things as far as what trauma actually is, so that we can actually talk about everything that has to do with trauma. Right. So in moving forward with that, trauma again is a deeply distressing or disturbing experience.
Mm-hmm.
What we got? How we gonna start this thing out? What we got going on with trauma? Because I got a lot, and I've been talking, and I don't want to just dive all into my stuff. So,
I mean, that's what that's what's gonna take. We're gonna take. We started there.
I get it. I join in a minute. Let me tell you something. Let me be real with everybody for a second, because I'm kind of off my game today. I have been experiencing, my past traumas have been coming up for the last couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
Trauma is something you can get through. I have not experienced being able to get over it. Right? I can't say that it doesn't happen. I'm just telling you what I know. And my past traumas have been coming up to me for the past couple of days, and I have been a ball of emotion for the past couple of days, just crying and thinking about different things. And then I knew this show was coming up today, so I'm like, pull yourself together, which I was able to do in the last hour, to pull myself together to get on this show to talk about what needs to be said. Talk about the trauma, talk about the grief, talk about what we need to do to try to get through it. And we're really pulling on you guys today for comments and for some things that you've been going through, Let's talk about it. Let's get it out in the open. Let's see how we can help each other, right? Because that's what we're here for. That's what Big Girl Talk is all about. We talk about everything, things that you think people are not going through, things that you think only you are going through. We talk about everything and try to get some answers on the line. So
by no means we are not professional therapists, counselors, or whatever. This is literally our own experiences. We're sharing with you guys, and what the knowledge that we have going through these experiences have taught us, and of course how we're able to maneuver. Hello, Kiki. How you doing? Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
So I know with trauma, it comes with vulnerability, and of course different types of stages. But of course we do not want, well, I don't want to be technical. I just want to be transparent. So dealing with trauma over the years with me has been really, really difficult because, of course, first and foremost, you have to actually put yourself in a place where you want to heal.
Mm-hmm.
And in that space of wanting to heal, hey Aisha, how are you? Thank you so much for joining. In that place where you want to heal, it's gonna be tricky. It's gonna be dangerous, and it's gonna be hurtful. It's gonna take some type of self-evaluation because, of course, at the end of the day, we are responsible for us.
Right. We
cannot depend on a whole nother person to 100% take care of us, abide by our feelings. So we're responsible for it. The trauma that I've been through in my life literally came from family. But of course, not to go into grave detail. If you know me personally, then of course you know my story. But just to kind of touch on the subject, I've dealt with, in which my sister probably will disagree with, but it's my truth.
It's how you feel.
I've been dealing with abandonment issues. So with that, of course, it comes with accepting different type of relationships that are very, very unhealthy for me, because I have a sense of wanting to be wanted, needed, and loved that I lacked in my childhood. Mm-hmm. So I've developed relationships over the years that were literally, hey Nisha, I have developed relationships over the years, whether it be friendships, romantic relationships, that were not pretty much healthy for me. Even business relationships that were not healthy for me because I wanted some type of acceptance. Me being 38 as of right now, I'm still learning. I've learned from those, I don't want to call them mistakes.
They're life lessons.
Life lessons, yeah. So I've learned, and I'm learning from my life lessons. And seeing as that my sister has been by my side pretty much my entire life, she can attest to some trials and tribulations that I've been struggling with. Here recently, of course, self-esteem has really come into place. And with this childhood trauma that I have experienced, it's run full circle.
Hey, Devon. Thank you for joining.
Hello. So it's run full circle. So that's why I'm bringing it forefront. So we can start somewhere with some type of healing. Not just me, not just Jamila. Maybe y'all are going through some things that y'all want to bring forth. Ask some questions. If we have the answers, guess what? We're definitely answerable. Mm-hmm. What say you, sis?
Yeah, so I agree. I've also gone through my share of trauma, which I know everybody else has. But just speaking on what I've been through, of course, we're going to start out with the childhood trauma. My childhood was a really good childhood. I grew up in a 2-parent home. My mom and my dad always made sure that I had what I needed when I needed, and also what I wanted. I can't really say much about my childhood other than I was molested, and I was molested by a close family member, and then by a couple of other distant family members, right? So, and in that time frame, that was before my teenage years. So in that time frame, I knew it was wrong, but it was like, who can I tell and how can I tell? So, and without them knowing that I told, right? So that was the trauma that I was dealing with, even as a child. And the close family member, I really just forgave that person not too many years ago. And I'm 46 years old. This happened when I was 9. So I've held on to that. I've dealt with it. Thank God it didn't deter me from anything in my life. Thank God it didn't take over my life or my body or my mind. But I dealt with it. And it was a hush hush for a very long time. And as a matter of fact, it's still a hush hush. The entire family still doesn't know. It went to the grave with my mother, I'm sure. And I don't even think my dad knows. So, I don't feel like I should bring it out now, because I feel like now I can be in the room with this person and it doesn't change my atmosphere. Mm-hmm. I've totally forgiven this person.
That's very powerful. So how, in that situation, how do you think that trauma really depicts your relationships with other people? Not just for family members.
Yeah.
But just for like every other.
Man, I honestly don't think that particular incident messed up anything I had going on in my life. I chose as a small child, because when I did tell, I told indirectly and nothing was ever said. Mm-hmm. So I wrote a 3-page note or letter. I left it in the silverware drawer because I knew somebody would find it. Mm-hmm. And when I went back, the letter was gone. So I know somebody got it, but nothing was ever said. And so since nothing was ever said, I felt like I had no choice but to push past it. So that's what I did. And now, mind you, subconsciously, I could have still been dealing with that throughout my relationships, but I just don't see it on the surface. Mm-hmm. So I can't really speak to how it affected me. Yeah. Okay. All I know is it didn't make me go crazy. It didn't do anything to me on the surface. Mm-hmm. Now, after that trauma, here come all the other stuff with your teenage years and your adult years. So I don't have time to go back and think about that trauma. Yeah. But I did make time to go back and forgive so I can move forward, because I stopped going to family functions. I stopped doing different things because I could not be in the room with this person, because it would just, my attitude would change. And that's not me. I'm not an awful person. I didn't want that person around my children, especially my daughter. This person never saw my daughter until she got older. Mm-hmm. And then I told her what it was, because at that time I still hadn't forgiven them. So just to be on the lookout, don't ever be around this person, because this is what happened. Yeah. Right. So I think I was very cautious, but just not letting it affect or dissect what I got going on with anybody else, relationship wise.
No, I definitely understand it. I mean, it's still hard to talk about or whatever, because of course the feelings that you had before you forgave that person tries to reemerge. Exactly. And you be like, well, maybe I should try to hate. No, you've already forgiven. Right. Exactly. So God do not actually take back his blessings. Right. So, you know what I'm saying? So you like, okay, well, I know I haven't experienced that type of childhood trauma, but of course it's not giving anybody a scale either, because one person might go through something what Jamila went through, and then somebody might go through something I went through, as far as like being the last born, not being the favorite, not being loved. I literally was alone my entire childhood.
It's just as traumatic.
It's just as traumatic.
You went through that, right?
Hey, Sherry. Hey, yes, Aisha. Let me see. Let me go back up here. So Misha said that's some strong forgiveness and speaks on growth and healing.
Yeah, amen.
Aisha said sometimes we have experienced trauma in our childhood that we suppress it as a coping mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
Then later on in life, it comes out in our behavior. That is definitely true. And that's something that I've actually recognized in the relationships that I've actually developed in my adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
I have developed, I don't want to say I used to, because I still actually do. I've developed like a wall mechanism. I do not want to get close to anybody. I do not want to express my feelings, because I always thought as a child, if I express my feelings, people are going to think I'm annoying, or people are going to think that, oh, you just being dramatic. So yes, I definitely do agree with that. I'm discovering that about myself now. Yes, and it takes a long time. Some people do not realize what they went through their childhood affected them up until their late 30s, early 40s, 50 years old. I know a lot of people, close people that are still dealing with childhood trauma, because that, unfortunately, that's where it starts.
Mm-hmm. They were never able to push past it, never able to fully deal with it.
Right.
Some people don't know the root cause of why they're so angry, why you're so
Right.
on guard, why you won't let nobody in, because it stemmed from somewhere in your past.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get to the root of it, but some people don't want to dig that up. Once it's over, you feel like it's over, but you still walking around harboring these feelings. You gotta dig that stuff up.
You really do, because at the end of the day, like I said at the beginning, you are responsible for your feelings, your emotions, your healing. So at the beginning of healing, you have to actually get all the way back, bring back, talk about what happened first, because we have to start with it. Because if not, we're not healing.
We're not healing.
We're masking.
You're continuing to try to deal with your present trauma when you haven't even dealt with the past trauma.
Right.
Your present trauma is sometimes it's because of the past.
Absolutely.
Trauma. And I know things come up and things happen, and we're losing people every day.
Oh my.
And it's just like you give up sometimes, and you don't want to dig that stuff up because you got so much going on, and then you even have so much going on in the living aspect of it. Like you still have living children, you still have living people to be with, but you're dealing with all this other trauma. So
absolutely,
where does it end? It doesn't end, but you can still deal with it day by day. You can still deal with it by talking to people, getting it out. Go see a therapist. Black folks do not believe in a therapist. Go see a therapist. Get a life coach. Talk to somebody, a close friend, or whoever. Whoever it's got to be somebody you trust. I personally think it should be a third party. I can't really talk to somebody that knows my situation already, because now you already have biased. You already have thoughts about what you're gonna say.
Right.
So you're not listening to me to give me any type of advice. You ready to answer because you've been holding this for so long.
Somebody told me fairly recently, you're listening to respond.
Right.
That hit me, because I was like,
because
no.
you try to let people say what they want. Yeah. You can't wait because you already got a response. You've been had this response for several days.
Right.
But I'm just gonna let you say what you got to say.
And that's not
the
good.
wrong attitude.
So Nisha said sometimes you don't even realize things are considered traumas until one day you just break down and start talking, and the things that seem irrelevant as a child comes out. Y'all, I like this. Come in. Seems irrelevant as a child comes out, and as an adult, you realize how important it is. Wow. That's definitely true. Because that's the whole part of trying to heal.
Right.
It's recognizing. Exactly. Nisha said, me either, Jamila. I need a third party who does not know me or my family on that level.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Even though we are sisters, we pretty much know everything about one another. It's still very important that we have somebody outside, like I said, unbiased.
Yeah.
Write that down.
Oh, we're gonna write that
We're
down.
gonna write that down.
Unbelievable. We're gonna come back. Y'all let us know if that's a word. If it ain't a word,
we happen to do that. But anyway, we need somebody unbiased. That way, they will not have a already predestined or preordained thoughts.
Right.
Of coming up with. Come on now. I'm gonna.
They don't have. Say predestined.
Predestined. I don't listen, y'all. Forgive me.
They don't already have it made up in their mind what they trying to tell.
Exactly, basically. So now with that, I know there are different type of mechanisms or ways that you have dealt with trying to get over traumas.
Mm-hmm.
What are some things that you have done, like that you thought that was working?
Mm-hmm. So a long time ago, I used to write down my first of all, let me take it back a little further.
Take it there.
A long time ago, I don't know how old y'all are on here. I'm gonna take it back to the Teddy Ruxpin. It's a shut up. It's a Teddy Ruxpin doll. It's the teddy bear that talked to you.
Oh, I remember.
You probably remember a version. You ain't had no Teddy Ruxpin. But anyway, I used to take it back to my teddy bears and my baby dolls, and I would talk to them about certain things just so I can get it out.
Ooh,
right?
Okay.
As I got older, I started writing. What I would do is I would write my feelings down. I would tear it up in little small pieces and I would throw it away.
Mm-hmm.
That was me getting it out and making the situation go away or trying to make it go away out of my mind. As I got older, started writing poetry. Now, my poetry wasn't about my trauma. My poetry was erotic. I felt like that captured more attention than anybody wanted to hear about the abuse I went through.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So, did that. Then, of course, started writing short stories and then wrote the book. So, it was a lot. It was some phases that I went through. I think it all kind of stemmed down to writing, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But there was nobody I felt like I trusted to tell everything to. So I would write stuff and just throw it away.
Okay. So do you think at that moment that it may have worked? Or was there some sort of relief?
It was relief for me for the moment.
For the moment.
It was.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I know I didn't have the opportunity to talk to certain people or to I used to listen. My thing have always been music. Music has always been my therapist.
Mm-hmm.
Even as a child, I remember my family used to call me Radio Raheem because there was no song on the radio that Christine did not know the lyrics to. Or listen, I was that girl with the lyrics. You hear me? So whenever I was going through something, of course, we still do it as adults. Like if we say we want to, put on a little slow jam or whatever that kind of speaks to what our situation going to. But I've always ran to music. Even though I wasn't really verbal about it, music was always there for me. And it's still to this day. When I got older in my teens, my early teens or whatever, I started developing friendships that I thought were healthy enough for me to start sharing. But then I started what we call acting out. Mm-hmm. I started tripping.
As in?
I was, listen.
Tell it. Might as well tell it.
Because I felt no one loved me, no one cared, I really started going ham. I lost my virginity when I was 12. Mm-hmm. Whew. My son when I was 17, and between 12 and 17, I was doing shit when no 12 and 13-year-olds supposed to. I was clubbing because I always had a build that I never looked 12.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even in 6th grade, my bra size was crazy.
Right.
So I took that and I was like, you know what? I can use this for healing.
Right.
Somebody gonna like it.
Girl,
Somebody.
so I was waiting on somebody to go there. But seriously, sometimes we do use sex as a way of getting out.
Mm-hmm.
As long as something can occupy my mind,
Yep.
I'm not in that stressful situation.
Right.
And sometimes that does happen. We use sex as that thing to get you out of this world for right now.
Right. Mm-hmm.
For right now. And then, but once it's over,
we back at it.
so it's like a drug. Sometimes you just got to keep going at it.
Now Nisha said, I write things down. I write things down now at my age. Read and cry, and then tear it up. I tear it up most times out of feeling like it's no use discussing it with the person or people. I have been there as well.
Mm-hmm.
I also write poetry. My poetry is heartfelt. I ain't gonna say heartfelt, but it's what I'm feeling at the moment. So I also freestyle or whatever, because if I feel like if I don't get it out,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna still be there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I have to like hurry up. So some of my poetry is like short and sweet,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm okay with it because that's just how my style is.
Right.
So I definitely do get it, but never feel like I hate that you feel that it's no use to speaking to someone.
Mm-hmm. Well, it just depends on how you have tried to speak to this person. If they have shut you down and trying to tell you that your feelings and your emotions, like you can't tell me how I feel. Like you know how you try to tell somebody and they're like, you don't feel like that. Yes,
you
yes, I do. You can't tell me.
A cuss word?
No, I didn't. I backed it up. I forgot we on Facebook. We ain't on YouTube.
Oh.
So when you have tried to speak to somebody about your emotions and about your feelings, I understand you saying there's no use. I get that. What I don't want you to do is have it just bottled up and sitting there waiting to explode like a bomb.
Right. Yeah,
you write it down and get it out and tear it up and throw it away. But how are you feeling when you're around this person? Right. Are you even able to look at the person? Right. All right, that's where all that comes into play. This is for you. It's not for them. Mm-hmm. So you have to get it out and you have to say what even if you have to write a letter and give it to them, whether they read it or not, is on them. Yeah. But you got to do this for you. So I would suggest if you can't talk to them face to face, that you write it down in letter form and give it to them instead of tearing it up next time.
Yeah, here in the past couple of years, actually here recently, I've learned how to, not gonna say learn to, but I've learned to, I've learned how, if somebody's affecting me in any type of way, I tell them right then.
Now, yes. Now. I've been, I get that.
Because at first I was just like, you know what, why? Why should I? The behavior is still going to continue. Mm-hmm. But now if you piss me off, guess what? I don't like you.
Right then and there. Because I used to let stuff just linger.
Yeah.
You know me. I'll let it linger or I will disappear on your ass or whatever.
What have you.
If I don't want to talk to you, I'm not going to talk to you. I will disappear.
Yes, definitely.
However, now I feel like people need to know their faults. People need to know when they're doing people wrong because a lot of people don't even recognize.
Oh my God.
They don't even recognize they hurting people.
For real. Because what's the saying? Hurt people hurt people.
Yes.
That's so true. Because like if you're in a position where you're the person that's hurting somebody, you have a reason that you're doing it, but you don't have the root of why you're doing it.
You don't have.
You're trying to make sure somebody else feel the pain that you're feeling.
And you don't have the right to do that.
You can't make me feel your pain. I ain't did shit to you.
You don't have the right to do that.
Nisha said more like, wait a minute, let me go back up. Oh, Devon, I'm sorry. Devon said, I got with a woman to help me cope with the trauma. After doing the work, I know now that it was something I should have done that I should not have done. I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on.
So you're saying that you got with a woman, so you started dating a woman to
Help
deal
them.
with your other trauma.
Right.
And now you realize it's something that you're not supposed to do. That's what I'm getting. Let us know if we're right. But yeah, definitely. We branch off and do certain things because of how we're feeling. When men have let us down time and time again. And okay, so again, we're not bashing men.
Yeah.
This is not what this is.
No.
This is only personal experiences.
Right.
When men have let us down so many times, so many times, we think about different things and we do different things to try to cope with that type of drama, with that type of trauma, and that we don't want to deal with the men anymore. Now, me myself, I didn't go through that stage of it. However, I was like, you know what? I'm done. I don't want to talk to nobody. I say this every day, almost every other day. I'm done. I don't want to talk to nobody else. I don't want to meet nobody else. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do, because I'm sick of going through with men or that have trauma that they don't deal with. And so instead of dealing with it, they throwing all that trash on you and you don't even know why.
Exactly.
No, not dealing with it.
That's it. Yes. Okay, so let me go back more like okay, so going back to what Nisha said earlier, she said it's more without ripping the paper up, and she was like, basically it's not no use. So she was like, more like you already know what the outcome is going to be, would be, not like I don't want to. Okay, so I definitely understand it. We just have to get to a point where we do not consider other people's feelings more than ours. Because I struggle with that as well, because I was like, you know what, maybe if I speak up and I hurt their feelings or something, you know, something
they'll
of
stop doing it.
Yeah, but no, our feelings are valid.
So
our feelings are
here's
valid.
what I get from that comment. Almost. More like I already know what the outcome would be. That troubles me, because that tells me that you didn't even try. That's what that tells me, because you figure you already know what the outcome is going to be rather than knowing what the outcome is. So if you gotta try. I know it hurts. I know you go into it like, I already know what I'm gonna say. This is gonna piss me off. I'm gonna react like this. You gotta get a different mindset in order to put this thing to rest. If you go into it with a different mindset and pray before you go into it, because I know you're a praying person. If you go into it with a different mindset, you might get a different outcome. And even if you don't, you have already tried. If you try, done. Free yourself. And let them be tormented. I can't keep being tormented in the middle of the night, worried about you done pissed me off and you done did something to me and I can't get it off my chest, or I can't tell you about it because you're gonna dismiss my feelings. No, we're not going through that no more. I'm too old for this shit. You're not giving me no heart attacks. I need you to know what you did to me. Right? So let's try. Let's just try. And if I'm wrong, let me know. But that's what I get from your comment.
Right. Okay, and then we have, let's see. Aisha says she does like the idea about writing it down and giving it to them. I like that idea too, even though we're at an age, we're in a certain age where texting and emailing, it's nothing more pure about writing out your feelings and handing it. Like, I don't like you, bitch.
Oh, you telling me to calm down.
Oh. But anyway, I don't like you, bitch. And then I'm going to hand it to you. Yeah. I'm going to give this to you. All of this. Yeah. Now, my feelings are all in that paper and energy transferred. So whether or not she opens that letter, she got what I was putting down.
It's all for me. It's all for me. I can sleep tonight because I don't know whether you read it or not.
It's gone. I'm done with it. Now, the crazy thing or the stupid thing with me, for me to be like, okay, I done handed her, she better read it. No, let it be.
It don't need to be no follow-ups.
No.
Because if they read it and it said everything that it needs to say, either they're going to have a rebuttal or not.
Right.
So there's no need for you to follow up.
Mm-hmm. Because even with that, I always feel like I have to have number one, the last word. Sheesh. I do that. But anyway, I always feel like I got either the last word. I gotta have the upper hand or have to be in some kind of control. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, it's really not about that. It's about healing. Let's just get back to the root, right? Mm-hmm. So it's healing is our main goal in developing more healthy relationships. So we let it go to do anything, is that's the most important, right? Mm-hmm. Nisha said once it has to do with people failing to hold themselves accountable. And then I feel like, are you hearing, comprehending what I'm saying to you? That's true. But we cannot worry about that.
If you put it plain, if you write it down and make it plain, they ain't got no choice but to comprehend.
Right.
They might not want to. Right. But they understand.
That's on them. Nisha said, right, Christine, that's the point. I had to realize my feelings are important and I have to consider them. That's absolutely, your feelings are valid. Mm-hmm. Your feelings and your feelings are more important than anybody else's because, of course,
you are you.
You
got to deal with you at the end of the day.
Right. Nisha said, no speaking like I've been around there. Wait. No speaking like I've been there, done that over and over with the person. Okay, that's what she's saying. Okay. Right. Okay.
Gotcha.
So we're back at the bottom. Hey, Miss Charlene, thank you so much for coming in. We're talking about traumas, different things that we've experienced personally. Hey, Daddy, thanks for joining us today. So moving on, I know we've been dealing with childhood traumas. We touched on a lot of things in regards to that. Let's elevate in regards to that. So I know with childhood traumas, if we have, of course, we have not 90% of the time dealt with our childhood traumas, it goes into our adolescent years. So adolescent years, just in a nutshell, is still, I'm going to consider childhood trauma. If you're not an adult, it's still childhood trauma, right? So we, as young adults, not saying that everybody experiences the exact same thing, especially people from the South may deal with different things from someone from the North. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. So I'm gonna put it all into a nutshell in regards to childhood trauma. What do you have in regards to
moving on up, like teenage?
Yeah, if not teenage, then what else?
So I dealt with a lot of because of course kids are cruel, but I was heavier. I'm heavy now, but I was heavy then as well, right? So in school, so I dealt with a lot of that. Not a lot of it to my face, but just a lot of people grouping up or on the bus and talking about you and things like that. So I dealt with a lot of that. Now, I can tell you one time my mama got on the bus and said, everybody child straight.
Like the episode of Medea.
Yeah. And my mama was out there, keep going. Please keep going. My mama got on that bus and said, everybody child straight. But and as a mother, you want to do that. But do you know that child got to get back on that bus in the morning with these same ugly kids? I'm sorry. But I'm just saying, like, as a mother, you want to do that. Right. And it didn't stop anything, but she felt like she was protecting me at the time. So I dealt with a little bit of that. Of course, I got...
That's good. Your mom actually took up for you.
Because why?
Come on. I had to figure it out.
Surviving your mom. But yeah, I mean, that's what I went through. And then of course I got pregnant at 16 or at 15. And had my first child at 16. So that was I'm not gonna say that was traumatic for me. Of course the pregnancy and delivery was traumatic, but the time of it, I had a lot of support. My mother supported me throughout. My dad ended up coming around. I'm not saying coming around. He was there, but he was very upset with me. But before I had my first child, we reconciled and he supported me fully. I had sisters that supported me. I had everything. So
thanks for joining us, Dre.
thank you. I don't see that as a traumatic experience other than the birth, of course, because I was only 16.
Yeah,
So
that could be traumatizing.
Yeah.
So now,
Apparently not too much because I had 3 more right behind it.
yeah.
But okay.
Now, in regards to like different types of trauma. Now, I know that we were talking about before we even did, the show or whatever, that we were trying to put together some type of pinpoints. Mm-hmm. I know we talked about sexual trauma. Now, we have different types of family trauma. It could be physical abuse, emotional, and then, of course, you do have the sexual abuse. Now, different types of abuse automatically is going to cause some type of trauma.
Right.
And it doesn't have to always be physical. It could actually be your parents putting you on a pedestal to be the perfect child.
Yes.
And so going through school, going through life, that you feel like you cannot fail. And that could be traumatic. Because I know I've known growing up with a lot of people that were like into sports and stuff like that. Oh, I can't do this because my mom would do this. Or I can't do this because my dad would do this. I got to do this. I got to do this. Mm-hmm. And so as a child, being put on that high pedestal. Yes, Aisha, I definitely do remember. I remember Aisha. She was so sweet. She's so sweet. Now, keep in mind, this was Tammy's friend.
Okay.
But I had to basically be pushed along. Like, Tammy couldn't go nowhere by herself.
Okay,
anyway, so that's how I know Aisha. But yes, I definitely do understand that. But that could be traumatizing for a child because you don't know where else to go.
Exactly.
And then you get put. I ain't gonna say get put on a pedestal, but you get you have this high standard. Where do you go after that? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then if you are not the only child and you have siblings, siblings automatically become your competition.
Exactly. You start getting compared to all of the siblings. Why can't you be more like this one? Why can't you be like that one? And you become the example for some of them. And it's very, very. I could understand how stressful it would be.
Definitely.
Because I needed to go through that. I was the bad one.
Aisha said, yes, we grew up together. I was sheltered and had so much pressure on me that I learned the hard way as an adult, especially moving away from home. Yes. Yes. Sometimes we have to actually break the cycle because she moved away. I moved away. I haven't been in South Carolina in almost 10 years because of that stigma or whatever, because I've always gone and been a shadow of my other siblings. Mm-hmm. So it's like I had to reinvent myself in a whole nother time.
Right. And it's weird that you would have to do that. Like, why do I have to go somewhere else to shine? Why can't I shine right here in my home, in my hometown?
Right.
That's weird. But
I was always somebody's little sister.
Yeah.
Do you even know my name,
exactly.
bro? Like, exactly. Oh, that's such and such little sister. No, I'm Christine. Hi, nice to meet you.
Exactly. Because that's how you get introduced anyway.
Right.
It's little sister. That's it. That's how you get.
For real.
That's all they know.
And so in regards to that, Aisha, what do you think, other than moving away, how did you deal with that type of trauma? Mm-hmm. If you can put that in the notes.
That type of stress.
That's
a lot of stress for a young person to go through.
Absolutely.
Keeping your grades up and doing things to please your parents.
Right.
That is a lot of stress.
And that comes with emotional abuse as well, because you're structured. You're actually programmed to feel a certain type of way. Or not.
Programmed to not let things get to you. You can't show emotion.
Wow.
You have to be the strong one.
Yep.
You got to deal with it. You got to stay up and study. You have to always get the answers right. And you have to do this and that and the third. Your program, it's like military style. Mm-hmm. So that's very stressful, I'm sure. because again, I wouldn't be smart
It's a,
like that. It's
Whatever.
different when the child is motivated to be it's motivated to be in education like that. It's different when the child is motivated versus your parents pushing you to be that person.
Because you give your child the opportunity to want to be successful. And then, it's just I think it's just better that way. Aisha said that, I ended up failing in some aspects of my life. I was fortunate enough that I had surrounded myself with a group that let me be myself and show my vulnerable side. That's important.
Okay.
That's
it all the way down.
Important. Yeah. Yes, and she said I was also determined to break the cycle. Now, Nisha said, as a child, I always looked. Oh, wait a minute. I always looked at and hold up. I cannot.
As a child,
Jesus.
I always looked at.
Okay, read.
Go back up. Stupid.
This was messing me up because y'all coming. Okay, as a child, I always it felt like my mom was mumming as an adult, and being a mother myself began to wonder, why didn't my mom talk to me about this or that? Why my mom didn't come to my school? Why my mom didn't check or make sure if I was completing schoolwork? Now, Nisha, we are the same. We are. Oh, wow. I think the last time I can remember a parent coming to a function was my 6th grade graduation. I think she came to my 12th grade graduation. I can't remember. It was so vague. I don't have any memories in regards to my whole school year about that. But my other sibling, it was monumental. And I definitely understand where you're coming from, because I was just like, why? Why ain't nobody checking up on me? I need help. Why ain't nobody doing this? Why ain't nobody doing that? But yes, I definitely understand.
Did that make you act out, or were you still did you just go through school? Because I know you like learning.
I do.
And so you kept your grades up, which didn't cause anybody to have to come see about it.
That's true.
But did it make you act out in any kind of way?
It did, actually. Because even though I like learning and I love being at like the top of my class, it came to a point where I said, I ain't give a fuck no more. I'm just doing the bare minimum to keep people off my back. And then it is what it is. And I ended up graduating. I hate that I did that, because I had such a high GPA. And then when I got to that point, it was just like, when I was just scraping by, I was okay with a D. It's passing. It definitely did. And I hate that, because I feel like if I didn't get to that point, I would be a better person now. Isha said,
okay, wait. Let's back up. You feel like if you didn't get to the point where you didn't care about excelling, only passing, that you feel like you would have been a better person today?
Yeah.
For that?
I honestly do think so.
How so?
Because look at all the opportunities that I could have had if I was still excelling. I mean, I know like in 11th grade, I had like this contest or whatever. And it was just, I think it was like an essay contest that I was made to do to see if we were eligible to get accepted to a college. I got accepted to Clark Atlanta University. And actually, I didn't even know what the hell this was, but Oglethorpe. It's a college in Georgia for, I think, liberal arts or whatever. So with that, when I decided not to care anymore, those dreams and those aspirations went down the drain. And even though I did get pregnant at 17, had my son, I still had the opportunity to take my son to college with me. There were programs and stuff that were placed, but I just didn't care anymore.
Okay. So because I'm thinking you didn't care as long as you graduated, but even after graduating, you were like, done.
Yeah, I was over it because I was like, ain't nobody rooting for me.
Gotcha.
Ain't nobody proud of me. So I was just like, because I even at my 12th grade graduation, you can look and see like parents being so happy, bringing their kids flowers and stuff like that. Oh, it's time to go. Graduation over. Let's go. I'm parked up here on the hill.
Gotcha.
Like, what? Like, but yeah, that was very traumatic to me. And I feel like if I never gave up on myself, then I would actually be a better person, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see. We got a couple of comments. 1 second here. Okay, I know all parenting isn't the same, but as an adult, I realize how much that means. Definitely. You always want to be there for your child. And that's what I learned.
Mm-hmm.
I was determined not to raise my child like I was raised.
Mm-hmm.
I was raised that you don't talk back, of course. My son is very respectful or whatever. But of course, if my mom told me something, that was it.
That was it. There was no negotiation.
It wasn't.
That was it. Like, we're not negotiating for money. We're not negotiating for you to leave. No, this is what you're going to do. This is what needs to be done every day.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to go somewhere, you probably got to do something extra.
Exactly.
But this is what's done every day.
Right.
There's no negotiation with it.
I wanted to know what my child was thinking. I wanted to know how he felt about certain situations.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to understand what he was going through.
It's very important that the stuff that they feel like is big,
Mm-hmm.
you don't minimize it for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important because now that you've minimized it, when stuff like that, when other stuff comes up that they feel like is big, they're not gonna tell you anymore. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because you just made it seem like it was nothing.
Right.
And that's what some people do. Some people just brush their kids off because, so I knew it took a while, but I learned that in Charles Lee actually.
Okay.
Because working in Charles Lee, and those that don't know what that is, we're working with mentally and physically disabled adults.
Thanks for joining, son.
And what happened one day was one of the people I was working with tied their shoes.
Okay.
And when I tell you, we had to throw a party. We had to get food. We had to get a cake. We had to get balloons. We had to throw a party because he learned how to tie his shoes.
Right.
Had I not done all of that stuff, he probably would have never tied his shoes again or would have never done anything else again, because this was something huge for him. He was mentally challenged, but he learned how to tie his shoe. This man was probably in his 30s.
Mm-hmm.
And he just had learned to tie his shoe. Everybody else was buying him Velcro shoes. They didn't feel like dealing with it.
Well, if you want to join, let us know, because we on Facebook and we can get it done.
Oh, definitely.
Man, y'all need to get us on the call-in line. We do
that.
That's me. Come on. If anybody want to join, please let us know. We're here for that. But just to kind of retro back in regards to, that's big.
Yeah, that's
huge. Really, really
You
big.
can't minimize stuff that people are very excited about. That crushes dreams.
It does. And I really think because of, just to kind of go back into what I was saying, because nobody wasn't proud of me and all that stuff, as far as that childhood trauma, that adolescent trauma, it buried itself into my parenting. So even though I tried my best not to raise my son like how I was raised, I neglected some areas because I was trying to be the complete opposite.
Right.
But at the same time, I was still emotionally unavailable.
Gotcha.
I was still immature when it came to expressing how I felt with my child. Because even though in his teenage years, we all know Majay is very vocal, very verbal when it comes to his feelings. I didn't know how to take that, so I came back to what my mama taught me. Oh, I'm not your friend, so you don't need to talk to me. And that was not my goal. We slowly figuring it out. I have a whole adult now,
right?
But you know what I'm saying, we're there. Nisha said, "Don't wait." Aisha said her mom was the same way. Oh wow, Christine, I would have been hurt. Absolutely. Let's see. I don't act out. I had a mouth on me though. My mom was like, what the teacher said, Mom, and there were sometimes that it was caused harm to me in my grades because she didn't listen to me when I tried to talk. I could never not have a discussion with kids. I could never not have a discussion with my kids to understand the situation.
Mm-hmm,
okay.
Exactly.
And then she said, "Oh wow, Christine, I would about my graduation, yeah, of course." And I still harbor some of that hurt. I'm trying to get rid of it, but it is what it is at this time. I just know I was there at my son's graduation. Right, my mom was the same way. I definitely do remember Miss Aisha. Yeah, we had some gangsters as some parents. I tell you that. Man, y'all need to get us on the line. So, if you, like I said, Nisha, if you want to come online, let us know. And
Can
we
she
will
come on here, or they need to call in?
She can definitely call in. Let me see.
Because we haven't. Have we figured this
Oh
out?
no, right?
So you can post the number down there. Then call in.
Okay. Ooh, who knows?
You see that?
Yo, what is it? What is it?
762
Mm-mm.
721 1139.
So I got it. Thanks. I just posted a calling number, of course. If you wanted to call, oh, that would have been better because you're on TikTok and I'm on here.
What would have been better?
Giving them my number.
Oh, it's fine because I'm finna let this go.
Oh, okay, I'm talking about all shows. Okay, cool beans. We're gonna work on it. There's a couple things that we're trying to incorporate in these lives because these are some great discussions. Like today was trauma, of course, and this is gonna be a part. It's gonna be a part two because we haven't even scraped the surface.
Nothing. There's a lot of things that we haven't even touched.
Yeah. So we're gonna delete that. We're gonna. All right, but just trying to make sure I get all comments.
There go. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
We always gonna find some type of light into it, but
Right.
we really do appreciate y'all comments and questions and stuff like that because, of course, like I said earlier at the beginning of the show, we have to start healing somewhere. And if you cannot afford or you just don't want to have a therapist, tune in to Big Girl Talk.
Right. We
talk about everything.
About everything. And so before we get up out of here, I did want to go back just a little bit to say some things about how you can recognize any type of symptoms or anything when you are going through trauma that you're not really understanding, right? So if you're easily startled.
We're so happy that you came.
Thank you. If you're easily startled or you're tense all the time or on guard or on edge all the time, having difficulty concentrating, difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep, being irritable, angry, aggressive outbursts.
You talking about me?
Hey, if it fit, we go to symptoms. Doing risky or reckless or being destructive to yourself with that type of behavior. These are the things that you want to look out for when you're dealing or when you're not understanding what you're going through. You may be dealing with some trauma, something that you may need to go back and take a look at. I want to let you guys know that I do have a coaching page on Facebook. It's called MBH Coaching. That is Moving Beyond the Hurt Coaching. That is on Facebook. You can definitely go over there and join that page. I do free consultations because I am a grief life coach. So you can get with me or you can inbox me about those. I do free 1-hour consultations. Hey dudes, thank you for joining. I love you more. I have wrote a book called Through a Mother's Eyes. It is about my daughter. When my daughter passed away, she was 24 years old. That is some trauma that I had to deal with. And so I wrote a book about her. It was very therapeutic for me. It might be
Un momento.
Un momento.
Por favor.
That was very therapeutic for me. It is a inspirational memoir. It's on Amazon. I have the ebook for $9.99, and then I have the paperback book for $19.99. You guys can go right on Amazon and get that in hopes that it helps you. I just wanted you to know that there are avenues that you can take, as well as coming back here to Big Girl Talk every Sunday to just talk it out with us. Inbox us your questions, your comments, whatever you have. We're going to pick this back up next Sunday because this is so good.
Yes.
I really, really enjoyed it, and I really love getting this stuff out.
Yes.
So I hope this helped you this week. Come back next Sunday because this is going to be a part 2.
Part dos.
Dos.
I'm bilanguage. Don't put it down.
So,
I just led.
come back next week. Thank you so much for joining again.
Thank you guys so much.
Like the Big Girl Talk page. We have a YouTube page. Bro.
Yeah, we do.
Talk about it.
You can also follow us on YouTube at Big Girl Talk. Spelled same, okay? And we'll still be like posting the links to that or whatever. We do really, 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 really thank you guys so much for your support, your conversations, your input, and good night.
Good night.
Well, good evening. It's 6 o'clock. Bye, y'all. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye. Oh.